Well, she's an extremely good actress, and at the same time, she's very strong. And I needed somebody, as I did with Carrie Fisher, somebody who was very young. And Natalie plays a 14-year-old queen, and it's a hard role because it's for an actor. It doesn't have the kinds of elements that an actor loves to deal with, crying and screaming and yelling and dramatic scenes. It's much more controlled, almost kabuki-like.
I remember on Léon, Natalie Portman, she was 11, and after 20 minutes, the first day of shooting, after 20 minutes, she said, "Okay, I want to stop, I want to play." I said, "What do you mean, to play?" "Yeah, to play, I don't know, balloon, soccer." And I realized that, yeah, she's 11. She, her power of concentration was around 20 minutes. And then you imagine the 12 weeks coming, and you say, "Oh my God, I'm gonna have to cut every 20 minutes for her." And
did you, or did she get more focused?
No, I did. Are you kidding? Otherwise, she started to cry. So it was her first film, so it was kind of funny. I did the shot on her the first, and when I did the reverse on Léon, Jean Reno suddenly cut the take and said, "Excuse me, Luc, cut for 1 second. Natalie, do you mind to take your chewing gum out when the camera is on me? Because, it disturbed me to..." And she didn't realize yet that she thought that she has to play when the camera is on her, but when she's from the back, she was like...
Well, her whole thing was that she was like preternaturally mature.
Yeah.
And yet you were dealing with an 11-year-old.
She was smart. As soon as she take the gum out, and then she understand that, oh, I have also to play for the others,
Natalie, of course, was not sitting in a room doing casting. That was different. With Natalie, it was because she could be, I'd seen this before, she could be super controlled and super damaged, and she could bring the two things together and kind of overlay them and separate them and bring them back, and it was that particular quality, really.
The idea that this would be a daunting challenge for any actress definitely crossed my mind, and I think, obviously Natalie's performance exceeded even my wildest expectations of what, somebody could do with the role. She carries the movie. I mean, her work in it is, it blows my mind every time I sit down and watch it. And, obviously as a writer, there's a lot outside of your control. So the fact that Pablo, was the filmmaker that decided to direct it, and that Natalie chose to play the role, just my incredible good fortune.
Good, thank you, mate.
Okay, I have to be honest with you. I was talking to Natalie Portman earlier, and she was telling me she was really nervous around you on set because you had such a presence. Your performance was so rich that it was like, don't mess with him. Don't do it.
Different word, weren't you there?
You saw me edit. You saw
it. About to form there. It was coming, but you know what? Right back at her, right? She was buff, and every time I had any scene with her, she was angry, and she was focused, and she had a hell of a presence, and I was bloody intimidated by her.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So when you saw this,
right? Exactly.
As he laughs.
But good memories.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, when they come to you and they say, Jane is going to become the mighty Thor, what's your first reaction?
I say, what took you so long? Of
That's
course
what
she
I said
should.
earlier.
Of course she should become the mighty Thor. I see her beautiful variety cover down there now.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
So gorgeous, so beautiful. I mean, come on.
She's a badass.
She's a badass, and she always has been, like, off and on screen. But, we made a film together called Annihilation when I was training to make the last Thor. So I had, like, my fake sword, my decorative sword that I was rehearsing with, and Natalie and I were together. And then we had no idea that she would come back and rejoin these films, but this time have a cape and the whole thing. And it's been so fun to get to experience that journey with her and feel like we're at summer camp all over.
Chris, I got to tell you, I'm a sucker for a 2-for-1 special. So when I found out there was not just one Thor, but we were going to get Mighty Thor as well by the one and only Natalie Portman, I got even more excited. I mean, what was it like sharing the mantle with someone like Natalie?
I had the same response you had. Tyke pitched me the idea Just after Ragnarok had come out, when we immediately got the green light to make the film, and I said, "Oh, that's genius," because I didn't know where we would go from there and what else we could do, and he managed to pull something together very unique and fresh. And I love Natalie. You know, I started this journey with her 10 years ago, and to now reunite and see her as the mighty Thor and all her glory and embodying everything a superhero embodies, but very her own interpretation of that, very personal. There was nothing she was doing that was mimicking someone else's version. She owned it. It was beautiful.
So were you and Natalie watching each other, being competitive? Were you saying, oh, she's like, oh, God.
Natalie and I, the great thing is I think we were really great friends before production started. But I think it caused a problem to Darren. Darren was really concerned that Nat's and my relationship and friendship would somehow interfere. So he tried desperately to pin us against each other.
Good for him.
Oh yeah, he tried.
That's old school directing.
He slightly failed, but you know, he tried. He would like text Nat and be like, you know, Mila's doing really great and at her dance rehearsals, just letting you know. And he'd text me and be like, Nat's doing really great at her dance rehearsals. And I would text Nat back and be like, oh my God, that's amazing. And she would do the same back. So it never quite caused a riff, which is what he was trying to. And so I think he gave up on that idea early on.